Assalamualaikum guys and welcome back to the channel. Last video was about to the PHP form handlings and we discussed that how we create a simple HTML forms. Okay, so we have make the form successfully. HTML form, we added the name field, we have added the password field, and we have make the submit button and as well as email field as well. So need to go back in my browser and see which things we covered. Yes, last time we have created this name, this email, and this password, and we have created the submit button. Now today we will create about a database as well as we need to create a connection file, that how you make a connection with the PHP with your local database. So this database I am creating, so I need to go back. This is the PHP myadmin, and how you install PHP myadmin, you need to install the XAMPP server, and in XAMPP server in it automatically actually comes. This is my XAMPP server. You have to start these first two, Apache and MySQL. Once you have started and it started successfully, these both will turn green. So once it turn green, you have to click on MySQL, and then you have to click on the admin. Once you press this button, it will automatically redirect to this page which you are seeing. It will redirect to this page. Now it's a time to create a database, so you need to click this new. Once you have created this new, this will now says that give the database name. So let's say here database name I am giving, that is called form. Okay, HTML, sorry, HTML, I have given the database name. So you need to click on this create button. Once you have created this one, now it's a time to give the table name. Okay, which fields do you have? Now first of all, I need to give the table name. Let's say it's form. Okay, this is my form. So once I have given the table name, now here I need to define the number of columns, that how many number of columns we have. So I need to go back in my HTML form and see that how many number of columns it will take. So we have the name field, we have the email field, and we have the password field, three fields. But in this database we need to take the four. The reason for fourth one is ID, because actually that ID will considered as a primary key and will identify the unique records, okay, in your database. So we need to create the ID attribute as well, but we are not defining in the HTML form. Okay, this is for just database collection. So we need to here create successfully. Now what I need to do, I'm just taking as ID first attribute, then we are taking the name. Okay, the name we have created, then we have, be remember, you have to remember this pattern. Okay, you cannot take an email first and then name and then in last password. No, you have to match the pattern as well. Let's say if I move back in the HTML form, as you see, be remember, and one thing more important, you need to give that attribute name like this. Here I have created the name as small, same like in a name I have created the e small. So you have to be very conscious, whatever the name you give in this name attribute, you have to same define the same name in your database. Okay, otherwise it will return an error. So I need to go back in my browser and need to be name, then we have the email, and then we have the password. So once we have created this one, now it's a time to define the data type. So as we know, ID contains the integer, so I'm not changing this by default. Name I'm taking watch on. This actually watch on means various characters. Okay, user can add your names, but it's a better practice to add text, because name mostly contains the text. Then we have the email contains the water, because it contains the number, it contains the expression, and it contains that thing as well. And last time password you also contain the various characters. Now it's a time to give the length 20. Okay, here you need to give the length 20, and here by default you give any length, but be remember, you have to give the maximum length. Okay, so once I defined this successfully, now it's a time in ID you need to make a primary key. So go back here, and this is the AI means auto increment. So once we have checked this box, primary key has created successfully for this table. So once we have created this one, now it's a time, if you go back, here is an option save. So once you have six successfully, this is my table what I have created. ID, which is the primary key. We remember when you give this primary key, you see this yellow key. This yellow key stands for that you have created the primary key for this particular table. So ID, name, email, and password. So once we have created this successfully, now we need to go back and make a connection file. That how you make a connection file. So I'm here in my this folder. I need to make a new file. So once I have created this new file, where yes, new file, I need to give the name. That is, let's say I'm saying uh, DB. Okay. So once we have created, DB stands for database file, database connectivity file. Okay, sorry, I need to take sorry, database as well, database, so it will uniquely, because db file is already present in my folder. So database.php. So once we have created it, now it's a time to give the connection and makes the connection. So here how I need to give this one. Let's say here, first of all, you need to define the php. So once we have defined this php, sorry, uh, PHP. So once we have defined this PHP, what is going on? PHP. So I am not taking anything. Why it's auto suggesting me? Okay. So PHP, and here we have created this PHP. Now here, this time I need to create that host. Let's say I'm taking host. As I am taking the host as local host, so I need to give in the in semicolon, sorry, in quotes, that this is my local host which I am using, as XAMPP servers by default provides you the local host. So once we have defined this host, then you need to give the user or username, user, simple. So once we have give the user, now here you need to give what is your user. Your user is by default root. Okay, every example has by default root. Then you need to give the password as well. So password, as my database doesn't contain any password, so I'm just leaving as it is empty. But if you have given if you have created password in your database, then you need to define the password inside in it, otherwise it will not connect with your database. So once we have created this one, then here I need to define my database name. So db, in db variable name, I need to define the database name. As database I have created of what name, I need to go back and check the database I have created html. This is my database name. Okay, you have to provide the database name, not the table. Okay, so here I have created, this is my database. So once I have created this one, now we are need to add the condition sum. Okay, so I'm saying dollar con. This is a short form of connection, dollar con. Okay, you can take the connection as well. So in dollar con variable, I need to call this function, that uh, my sql my sqli. Okay, so my sqli, here I need to give the all variables which I have created above, that is the dollar host. Okay, then dollar user. Okay, then dollar password. So and in last I need to give, that is the last one, that is the database name. So database name. So once I have created this one, okay, this is what I have stored in my database. So my sql, I think it's returning, might be it is error. We'll check. Okay, if it returns an error, we will fix it. Okay, and here I need to define this semicolon. So once I have defined this successfully, now it's a time to add some condition. I'm saying if dollar connection, if the variable, okay, where I stored this mysqli function, if dollar connection, what happened, if dollar connection, then I need to define in the semicolon that if dollar connection. Okay, and here I need to give the condition with the pointer points to the connect error. Okay, connect connect and error, this connect error function I need to return. if dollar connect if this variable gets connect if this sorry if this database connects successfully, then what you have to return in echo, what you need to return, sorry this means that if your database causes an error while connecting, so return me in brackets that connection failed. Okay, connection failed. But what about if it executes successfully? Then go to the else part, else part, and what you need to do, else part, just display me that echo connection or connected successfully. So once I have created this one, now it's a time to check whether this my file runs or not. Okay, here I think I add a one mistake that it will be new. Now hope so, yes, the issue is resolved. My new SQL, okay, this is a function name in the variable. Okay, so once I have defined this, now I need to be checked that whether my connection has created successfully or not. So if I go back in my browser, okay, here I am just assessing the file. As I am using the localhost, in localhost I have a file homework new, a homework new folder, and in homework new folder I have a file that is called database.php. So once I pressing the enter, it says that connected successfully. Your connection with now the database which you have created here one with the database name HTML has connected now successfully. Let's say I need to some changes in the database, and let's see will it still returns the connection successfully or not. Let's say here instead for this database I'm just taking the database DSA. Let's say I have created this database. Now if I go back in my browser and will see will it returns the same thing or will it return the error. Yes, as you see MySQL construct unknown database. Okay, one whenever we remember whenever it's a database error, it means that the database is not present in your in your the MariaDB. Okay, XAMPP servers provides you the MariaDB, Maria database. So it will actually returns that DSA name doesn't, DSA database name DSA database doesn't exist. Okay, so that's why it is returning an error. Now let me correct this one. Okay, and let's say we are some doing some more stuff. We remember here I have taken con, you can take the connection as well. Okay, no issues. But once you have created this connection error, you need to be defined here one the connection. Once you have defined this one, now you will see in the browser it will return that my connection is now secure. Yes, connected successfully. So guys, from here we just have created an database. Okay, and how you connect with the database. In next video we will I will tell you that how you send the data in the database. We need to add a one file that is called the insert.php, and insert.php we need to save the variables in the database, and then I will show you that how you submit the form and how your how your data goes to the database. So guys, that's all about today's video. If you like my video, kindly do like, subscribe and share me